It is SNL, and you know what that means. It is Formula X season number 10, round 3, and we're at the Circuit de la Sarthe here at Le Mans, and we've got sound this week. Just making sure after last week, 5 minutes of me talking, and no sound was coming out, so you missed all those brilliant statistics, standings, and information for the race. I had to do it on the cuff as we went through the grid. But the standings so far this season, after 2 rounds at Lego Majaro and Interlagos, top of the standings is a 2-time champion, Bunnies. 2 wins means he has the maximum 60 points in his McLaren. 20 points behind him in the Team Lotus is Morcherry, his second season in Formula X. He is trying to get a championship campaign underway, but that 20 points sounds a lot. But remember, 12 rounds this season. This is only round number 3, a long way to go for this championship. In third place, another former champion on 37 points in the Ferrari is Gasman. In fourth place, in the Alfa Romeo, is Yafax, the Canadian, has 35, 2 points behind Gasman. 1 point behind him is the defending champion Ajax in the Renault with 34 points. He'll be looking to get his campaign underway here at round number 3. In sixth place is the impressive Bailey in the Red Bull. On his return to Formula X, he has had 2 sixth places and has therefore got 6 in the championship. In 7th place is Jam in the Jordan. He has 26 points and is 2 points behind Bailey, who had 28. In 8th place, the other Red Bull of Aloe, 18 points for him. He has had a disconnect, so he's a bit further down in the championship than he would like, but top 8 is looking good for him on the same points as Rob on drums in the Benetton. Rob on drums has 18 points and is 9th in the championship. 2 points behind him is Ben, who missed Interlagos due to work, but he's back here at the Circuit de la Sarthe, so in 10th with 16. In 11th place is Christo, making his debut season in Formula X, finding out it is tough, but you persevere and it will come good. 14 points for him in the McLaren. 3 points behind him is Bondimus Prime in the Team Lotus. In 13th place, also on 11 points, is the Punisher in the Ferrari. In 14th place in the Jordan is Slenderfella on 8 points. And finally, in 15th place is Mr. Smith for Renault on 6 points. Unfortunately, Kaiser Grimm has been unable to take part in this season. We wish him the best of luck in everything that's going on right now. His place at Alfa Romeo has been taken by Regulus Prime. The former podium gainer is joining Yafax in probably the strongest lineup in terms of the teams, but they're currently bottom of the team standings on 28 points. In 7th place is Jordan, equal on points with Benetton on 34 points. In 5th place is Renault on 40 points. In 4th place is Red Bull on 46. Ferrari have 48 and Team Lotus have 51, so it is pretty close in the team championship. At the top, of course, is McLaren, thanks to those 3 victories by Bunnies in the 2 victories by Bunnies in the first 2 rounds. Let's have a look then at the grid, because I mentioned Bunnies because he has got pole position here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Pole position by over a second. He qualified on the soft tyres, and for the race he has soft hards. He's joined on the front row by Yafax in the Alfa Romeo. He qualified on soft tyres as well, and he has soft mediums, so a tyre advantage compared to Bunnies. In 3rd place, the defending champion Ajax in the Renault. He qualified on softs and has all softs for the race as well. Remember, this season, if it stays dry, the drivers have to use all 3 sets of tyres. In 4th place on his return is Ragemus Prime in the Alfa Romeo. He qualified on softs and has soft mediums for the race. Fifth place after his break last week is Ben in the Benetton. He qualified on medium tyres, so top medium runner. He has soft and mediums for the race. In sixth place in the Jordan is Slender Fella. He qualified on the medium tyres as well and has soft, hard for the race this evening. He's followed by his teammate in seventh place for the number 7 Jordan. He qualified Jam on medium tyres as well and has medium hards for the race. In eighth place is Bondimus Prime in the Team Lotus, again out-qualifying his teammate. He was on medium tyres, soft, medium and hard for the race for him here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. In ninth place is Rob on drums in the Benetton. He qualified on medium tyres as well. He has soft, medium and hards for this race. In 10th place is Morcherry in the Team Lotus. He qualified on medium tyres and has soft, medium and hards for the race. In 11th place is Mr. Smith in the Renault. He qualified on soft tyres and he has all soft tyres for the race. In 12th place is the Punisher in the Ferrari. He qualified on hard tyres. He has soft and hards for the race. Wrong Red Bull. It's a Lowy in 13th place, qualifying on the hard tyres. He has softs and 2 sets of hards to use in the race. So those hard options looking like a popular choice. Christo qualifies 14th in the McLaren. He qualified on hard tyres and has soft, hard for the race. In 15th, a little mistake in qualifying sees him in 15th place, is Bailey. The Red Bull driver qualified on hard tyres and he has soft, hard for the race. And finally, at the back, with a couple of errors going off circuit and hitting the gravel in the one-lap qualifying session, is Gasman. He qualified on the hards. He has medium, hard for the race. So quite a tricky set of tyre options. Remember, all the drivers have to use all 3 tyres unless it rains. And this is the first circuit that we've seen where rain is possible. So if it rains, they don't have to use all 3 sets. Maybe Gasman is hoping for a bit of a rain dance starting in 16th with the medium and hards. But that is the grid for round number 3. Without further ado, let's get this underway. At the Circuit de la Sarthe here at Le Mans, beautiful sunshine to start the race. We've got the first red light. We'll get to 5 red lights and then they will be go, a long hold, in fact, from the start, but it's a great start, it looked like, from Rajimus in 4th place as he battles up. Ajax in 2nd place, but he's got Rajimus on the inside looking at the position, but it's Bunnies leading them through into the chicane at the start, the Dunlop chicane, as they get all through pretty cleanly, as Gasman already is up into... Well, we'll have to go on board with Gasman. He's up into 10th place. On board with Gasman then, going into the Dunlop chicane. He overtakes Bailey already at the start. He's on the medium tyres. He's got Christo on the inside as we break up the inside. Oh, he's very lucky. It all kept open for him as he got Mr. Smith pushing him out wide on the outside of the exit. But Mr. Smith had a car on his inside too, as we see Bondimus and Jam with Rob on drums. Jam having a little bit of a touch there with Bondimus at the front. It is Bunnies trying to pull away from Ajax. Ajax are on the overtake. So is Ragemus. Ben in 4th place. He's got Yax behind him as drivers try to weave away. A bit of a gap actually to Rob on drums, who is behind Mr. Smith in 7th place. This is the best we've ever seen Mr. Smith early on, as Gasman in 8th. Now you'll see the drivers will be bump drafting each other down the Mulsanne. We are not using the chicanes as they go through the first chicane very, very fast. Let's go to the front as Bunnies has got his brother Ajax bump drafting him behind. Ben and Ragemus are there as well. Yafax helping his teammate bump along as they go down the Mulsanne. In the background we have Rob on drums, and he's got a gaggle of cars behind him having a look. We're going to Mulsanne corner though, with the two race leaders. Bunnies leading. You can see the cars behind just all spread out. Will Ajax go up the inside? He does, into Mulsanne corner, but Bunnies says no, I don't want you to pass, and they actually cause each other to lose a little bit of time as the drivers behind. Rob on drum still in 6th place. Oh, as there is Slenderfella having a bit of a slide. What happened to the Jordan driver? So he's behind the Punisher as they go into the Mulsanne corner. Whoa, Christo very fast and late on the brakes as everyone sort of backs up. Whoa, Slenderfella just losing the back end. He's on the hard tyres though, as is Bailey. At the front though, Ajax on the soft, followed by Bunnies as they race down towards Indianapolis. Bunnies retaking the lead along the back straight. Behind him, Ragemus, Yafax and Ben on the medium tyres. He's looking very strong in the Benetton then. The two Alfa Romeos he's racing with is goes up the inside of Yafax at Indianapolis, but holds off. What's the contact between the two drivers on board as we go into the corner? And there was a little bit of contact. He backs off, goes half throttle, lets Yafax by, but that means the cars behind also catch up. So this all of a sudden, instead of a battle for third, is a battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. They're all so close. As Bailey and Mr. Smith's dropped down as well. What happened to Mr. Smith? He's dropped down to 16th place. Don't know what's happened quite there. But Bunny's leading into the Porsche curves for the first time of 14. He's got Ajax right behind him, the Renault, keeping the pressure on. A little bit of a gap then to the Alfa Romeos. Yafax has got Ben all over the back of him. Jam and Gazman going through the Porsche curves. The former champion behind the Jordan and has the attention of Rob on drums right on his tail. Rob on drums will look into the Ford chicane. Nothing happening, but up ahead, Ben gets a move on Yafax. Nicely done going into the Ford chicane. You have to be in a good position. He was already alongside as he got into the Ford chicane. And Yafax didn't close the door on him. He kept him with space. Lots of respect with these drivers, but already you can see the gap has developed. It's about 3 seconds to Ragemus. Ragemus about a second behind the top two as they go into Dunlop for the second time. Oh, Bunnies having a snap there, fighting the car hard, feeling the pressure. These drivers having to push as hard as they dare as Gazman gets the inside of Jam. Nicely done there by Gazman. The Ferrari going up the inside at Dunlop. Jam having a bit of a slide on his mediums. We'll go and have a look at the tyre situation then as they go down the Mulsanne. So, soft for Bunnies, soft for Ajax, soft for Ragemus, soft for Yafax, mediums for Gazman, mediums for Ben, mediums for Jam, mediums for Rob as we see the bump drafting. A brilliant opportunity to see it in action. Softs for Bondamus, then a little gap to Christo on the hards. Christo doing really well on the hards right now. Morcherry is on the mediums, Aloe on the hards, Slenderfella also hards, Mr. Smith on the softs as he runs out of overtake on lap number 2. And the Punisher is on soft, so the Punisher's had a little bit of an off. Bailey is in 14th. Let's go back to the front. Ajax tucked up behind. Ragemus in 3rd. Gazman all of a sudden is in 4th place as this gaggle of 6 cars are going in to the Mulsanne. What on earth is going on here? So Jam in 5th, Ben in 4th as they go up into the Mulsanne corner. And they all keep it clean and Jam up into 4th place with a move on Ben. Ben having to tuck back up at the inside. Yafax then in 6th place in the middle of this pack. Let's go on board with Bondamus. He's looking a bit racy on his soft tyres. We've got Rob on jump just slightly behind the rest of these drivers. So Jam leading this pack, going down to Indianapolis. They're nose to tail here in these Super Formula cars, going into Indianapolis. Holding the positions, Yafax having to defend a little bit on Gazman as they go into the corner. And Rajimus, he's got a bit of a gap now to these drivers fighting behind. Jam in 4th, Ben 5th, Gazman 6th, Yafax now down in 6th place, Bondimus in 8th, and Rob on drums just close enough. So we see up ahead, drivers getting into position into the Porsche curves. So Yafax getting good drive actually on the exit, but there's nothing to be done as they wiggle their way through the S's section into karting. Oh, Yafax very wide on the exit, losing the position possibly. Gazman having a look up the inside of Ben. Ben overtook into Ford Chicane's last lap, but nothing doing this lap. Bondimus up into 7th place ahead of Yafax. Ben holding the position then in 5th place. Jam in 4th, using his overtake to get out of the Ford chicane, trying to open up a gap as at the front of the field. It's Ajax leading now. He set the fastest lap of the race in the Renault. 11.6 compared to a 12.3 for Bunnies. Oh, there's a bald man's head as the two go into Mulsanne for the next lap. Tetrouge, a nice run out. So Jam then has the attention of Ben. This group of 5 now. They seem to have dropped Rob on drums a little bit. So off they go down the straight. Rajimus all on his own. He's doing 174 miles an hour. Jam's doing 195, and he's on the overtake as well. 196, so they're bouncing along here down the Mulsanne. They're doing 20 miles an hour more than Rajimus. We're on board with Rajimus, as you can see in the background. If you look in the right mirror, there is a train of cars just coming 20 miles an hour quicker than him, and he's got no answer. Here they come. He's just going to get swarmed. There goes Jam, there goes Ben. There goes Gazman. He tries to tuck in, he goes onto the overtake now to try and hold on to the gap. Jam then up into 3rd place, as we see Ajax has had a little dive, or has he defended against Bunnies at the front of the field. So as we saw Rajimus just having no answer to the cars going 20 miles an hour quicker than him. Bunnies up the inside into Mulsanne. He tries to make the move, but Ajax holds the line. It doesn't tighten on the apex and keeps it in 1st place. In 3rd place is Jam now, with Ben, Gazman, Rajimus, Bondimus, and Yafax is down into 8th place now. Rajimus, who started this lap in 3rd, is now down in 7th. As we go on board with his Canadian teammate. Up ahead though, it's all going a bit crazy. We'll keep on the off-board. There's so much happening with these 6 drivers now, as Jam leads them into Indianapolis for the 3rd time. They are all fighting hard. Gazman, he's 2 seconds up on there. Oh, Ben goes up the inside of Jam. Oh, Ben's gone up the inside of Jam, and I think he's taken them both wide into Arnage. On board with the Benetton driver. Into Arnage, he brakes a lot later, and he can't make the corner. Runs wide, runs deep. And that sends Jam wide as well. He drops to 5th. Gazman is 4th. Bondimus is up into 3rd. The Lotus driver up into 3rd place as they approach the Porsche curves at the front. You can see Ajax and Bunnies. Gazman going up the inside. Jam and... oh, Jam's got off! Jam's got off! What's happened here? On board with the Jordan. He was in 3rd a few corners ago. What happens here? He's looking ahead. And... oh, I don't know. Was Rajimus there? Let's go on board with the Alfa Romeo into the Porsches. Curves, he's on the overtake, looking for a move up the inside, following Gazman. And I don't think Jam saw him. He was on the inside just enough. Side touch, and Jam drops down to 8th as Ben overtakes him. And Rob on drums, so Jam down to 9th place now. As we see the two Red Bulls, Bailey and Aloe, both on those hard tyres. Having done a pit stop. Both of them have done pit stops, so they're getting rid of their tyres. They'll probably be in at the end of this lap as we see Ajax having to fight Bunnies into turn 1. They go through Dunlop side by side on board with the McLaren. Gasman up into 3rd place. We'll look at that battle in a moment. We've got a battle for the lead as they go through the S's. Oh, Ajax running a little bit wide. They're going to Tete Rouge. And on to the Mulsanne straight once more. Gasman having a little bit of a gap. He set the fastest lap of this race as well, of 3:09.8. We saw how fast the slipstream allowed you to go. These 4 actually have broken up a bit. Yafax on the overtake, trying to get onto the back of his teammate, who also is on the overtake. Bondemus in 4th place in the Team Lotus. Ben on his own. So is Rob on drums. You can see they're only able to get to 174 miles an hour as Morcherry is on the back of Jam, and he decides to overtake. So he decides, I'm overtaking you. Not going to bump draft. Jam now in the slipstream is bump drafting as they go past where the first chicane normally is. So Jam in 10th, Punisher in 11th, just trying to catch onto a slipstream somewhere. That is how important it is. Bailey and Aloe, they've stopped. Slenderfella has also stopped. He's on the hard tyres once more, so he's trying to get rid of his tyres. As at the front, Ajax up the inside of the Mulsanne corner. Bunnies keeping that pressure on, as we see here. Oh my word. So Gasman, this time it's Ragemus that's going to have the overtakes. He's on the slipstream. He's getting a nice bump draft from his teammate on the overtake as they go down towards Mulsanne. Will his teammate follow him? Yafax up into 4th place, but Bundle, a slide and a half. How on earth did Yafax hold on to this on board with the Canadian in the Alfa Romeo into Mulsanne? A little tap at the back, I think, with Gasman, and somehow holds the position. Brilliant driver skill. Bonda must be thinking, wow, I saw that. Now you can see the red light above Bondemus. That means he's got less than 25% of his overtake left compared to those he's racing with, as Ragemus will soon be making that turn red. So these 3 nose to tail once more, all on soft tyres as they approach Indianapolis once more. Bondemus in 4th place. Gets up the inside of Yafax. Nicely done by the Team Lotus driver into Arnage. Gasman doesn't quite make the move. Ben on his own ahead of his Benetton teammate Rob on drums. Morcherry in 9th place with Jam. He's going 2.3 seconds quicker than he has gone before. Jam down in 10th place now with the Punisher 11th, just on his own. As I say, it's difficult. Makes a mistake on the exit of Arnage. Mr. Smith, he hasn't made a pit stop yet. Christo has. Yes, Christo has. He's on the soft tyres now. So Christo has made a stop. Bailey has made a stop. Aloe has, and Slenderfella has too. Back at the front of the field, Bunny's having a nice run on the exit of the Ford chicane. Let's see what this looked like. Was it a mistake? A little mistake by Ajax. He ran deep into the second part of the chicane, which means Bunny's gets a run on him. In the background, you've got Ragemus, Bondemus, Yafax, and Gasman. These 4 now. The gap is about 9 seconds to the leaders, so the fighting between them has resulted in them slowing each other up a little bit. So they're trying to get into an order where they can possibly catch up the leaders, but at the moment, it's all about getting position. Gasman up into 5th place now, ahead of Yafax. Ahead, Bondemus might be in a prime position to make a move on Ragemus. they go down the Mulsanne. Bondemus going past, but they're side by side. We saw before, if you work together with others, you can actually catch up. So 185 compared to the 175 of the drivers ahead. So actually, Gasman and Yafak are going to have the momentum. In fact, Gasman goes down the middle of them. He's got on board with the Ferrari. You see this on the Mulsanne. He's got Yafak behind him. And he'll just go into the middle of them. 10 miles an hour quicker. Thank you, boys. That was easy. As they go side by side once more. Ragemus then getting a bump from his teammate. As they race along, Bondemus then falling a little bit back as he falls down. Gasman up into third, but down into fourth now as Ragemus then gets another bump. But Bondemus is coming back again. Oh my word, these drivers are just side by side. Bunnies is back into the lead of the race at the front, but we're just having a look as the two Alfa Romeos push each other along, third and fourth, pushing hard. As I said before, these two drivers are going to bring themselves away from the bottom of the field in terms of the team championship for sure. As Gasman goes up. Oh! No, and it's a spin for Bondemus. Bondemus just touching the gravel on the exit, having a spin on the curb. He loses contact then with those in front. Ben overtakes him in the Benetton. So he's up to sixth. Bondemus then with the damage at the front. Robin Drums in 8th. Morcherry in 9th. Jam in 10th. The Punisher 11th. Mr. Smith there in 12th. The other drivers have stopped. At the front of the field though, well, it's Ajax and Bunnies. I think Ajax has just made a move into Arnage. Here we go. So Bunnies leading, but holds it too tight to the apex, and Ajax gets him on the exit. So these two are making mistakes. The drivers behind are catching them up, but that damage has already been done already. 9 seconds is the gap, as I said before. It is holding at that position. Ragemus then in third with the red light above his head now to show 25%, less than 25% should I say, of his overtake left on lap number 5. Gasman in fourth place through the Porsche curves. Clouds looking a little bit more threatening than they were at the beginning of the race where we had blue skies. Drivers will be looking at this, trying to hold out for as long as possible, I would expect, just to try and keep away from the pits as much as possible. But Gasman all over the back of Ragemus. Ben, he's got past Bondemus, as we saw after Bondemus's error. As they go through the 4 chicanes. Bondemus looking quick through here. Ooh, and look at those clouds near the Dunlop chicane. They look a bit threatening. It looks a bit hazy as well on circuit. We have the two Red Bulls. They're on their outlap now, so they're on soft tyres. They're going to the end of the race on the softs, they hope. So Lowy on the softs. Bunnies in first place, getting a bump along by Ajax. Ragemus in third, with Gasman fourth. It's really, really hazy. So Gasman following Ragemus. They're not getting the benefit, actually, of the slipstream as much as they were before. Actually, they are now 184. Ragemus using his overtake. Sparks being kicked up as it is very, very hazy. Yafak's in fifth. Bondemus is ahead of Ben. So Bondemus ahead of Ben. Ben will have to have a look into the Mulsanne. As we see Gasman, he's still behind Ragemus. As they approach Mulsanne, does Ben have a look at the inside? No, he doesn't. But he might get a slide on. Coming out of the corner, no. Not quite. Rob on drums, still up there in 8th place. He has got Morcherry trying to catch him up. Jam there in 10th now, with the Punisher in 11th. You can see how different the lap times are of those that get in the slipstream of others. They're going about 7 seconds a lap quicker than those with no slipstream. That is phenomenally different. You can see Bondimus, he's 4 seconds, nearly 5 seconds off his best lap on this one. It's up the front through the Porsche curves. Ajax and Bunnies, they're kicking up the sparks. It is very hazy. Bunny's all over the back of his brother. Will he go up the inside going into the Porsche curve? They're both in the pits. They're both in. So they're both into the pits. What's going to happen here then? The rain lights are flashing. The rain lights, and you can see a little bit of rain on the graphic on the left-hand side. The moisture is being picked up. Is everyone going to dive into the pits? Yes, they do, because the rain starts to pour here at Le Mans. The rain is pouring. Let's go to the front of the field. You can see it is throwing it down in the pit lane. So everybody coming in for tyres. That is going to really disadvantage those at the back of the field. They've done their pit stops, but the rain has come. So Ajax leads Bunnies in 2nd place. Morcherry is staying out. Morcherry stays out on medium tyres. He's got Ragemus and Gasman on the intermediates ahead of him. So Morcherry, here he is in 5th place. What can they do? It's the intermediate tyres on Gasman. You can see the cuts. You cannot see cuts on Morcherry because he is on the medium tyres, but behind him, Yafax is on the inters, and he's just got so much more grip. So much more grip. He can position his car where he wants it and gets past Morcherry, who slides along. He's keeping it pointing forwards. This is important aspect. Ben tries to have a look up the inside. The marshals are getting in the way of the cameras here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. If you have not done so already, please like, share and subscribe here on the Sunday Night League, here every Monday for delayed commentary on our Sunday night race here in FX, Formula X, as it's known more commonly. Ajax leading then through the spray at the Circuit de la Sarthe, on board with Bunnies, just to see how bad the spray is. It's not too bad, although the rain definitely has impacted everything. So Bailey, he's on softs, Aloy on softs, slender fella coming into the pits. Mr. Smith's on the softs, so some have not decided to stop. Punisher is on wet tyres, so deeper cuts on his tyres compared to Jam's intermediates. Intermediates for Rob on drums as well. Ben on inters, trying to get past Bondimus then. He's on the overtake, trying to get the position into the Mulsanne corner. We've seen this today quite a few times. Gets it up the inside of Bondimus though, as they catch it. No, Bondimus keeps the position. So Bondimus keeps the position. They're going to catch up Morcherry. Let's see what Morcherry is doing in terms of lap time difference. So Morcherry hasn't stopped for the intermediate tyre, and it's no longer raining either. So Morcherry's kept it pointing forwards. He's gained positions on those that have stopped for sure. He's just got to get it stopped and keep it pointing forwards. It looks almost dry as he goes out of Arnage. He is a little bit slower out of the corners, but let's go on board with Gasman through the Porsche curves. He doesn't look like he's losing too much time. As you can see by the water indicator on the left-hand side, it's getting to the point where it's in that bottom third of the indicator. If it's in the bottom third, the track's damp, but you can get away with dry tyres. In fact, in come Ragemus and Gasman. So they've had enough of the Inters. They're not going to pit. They're pitting for dry tyres. At the front of the field, Bunnies and Ajax. Ajax dropping down to second. Yafax stays out. Morcherry then. Morcherry's kept his cool. As everybody else dived into the pits for wet tyres, he's kept his cool. Slenderfella is on the Inters. These three didn't stop. They're on their softs. Mr. Smith also on their soft tyres. Wet tyres for the Punchy. He keeps going as Ragemus and Gasman come out of the pits on medium tyres for Ragemus, medium tyres for Gasman. So they're best tyres that they've got available to them for the end of the race. So we'll see what they can do in comparison. Let's see what Morcherry did on his last lap. He did a 3:30 on his last lap, so he was about 15 seconds slower, but he didn't stop, and he has got the tyres working nicely because it's basically dry going down the Mulsanne. Of course the tyres are losing temperature as they go down the Mulsanne. They're not working hard. So Morcherry has put himself in a very, very good position. He was in 9th place before the pit stops happened. He's now in 4th without stopping. So he took the risk, he took the gamble. Everybody else went in the top 10 for wet tyres, and it's not paid off. Rob on drums has Ragemus and Gasman passing him by. They've got more grip available to them, but they've also got more speed as they were working together. They've got past Rob on drums, who now tucks up behind them. You can see the grooves on the tyres. They're not going to be happy. The blocks of rubber will be moving around as he goes through the corners. It will be slowing him down as well. There's no spray being kicked up by these cars, so rain, well, there is a little bit of spray when they run offline slightly, but the rain has caused chaos here at Le Mans. Drivers pitting, and maybe they needn't have. Jam 10th place, Punisher 11th. Mr. Smith did not stop, but he'd already done some stops before. Same with Christo, Bailey, Aloe, and Slenderfella comes out now onto his softs to try and finish the race. The front of the field, it's Ajax and Bunnies once more. Through the Porsche curve, we see them fighting. Ajax gets the lead then on Bunnies. Bunnies thinking, well, hold on a second. We're fighting on these intermediate tyres. We've got to stop soon enough because they do not have the grip. As they go towards the pit lane, surely they'll dive into the pits. They do. Braking hard to get into this little chicane. It's really hard to get the car stopped as they come in once more. Morcherry probably won't stop, I don't think. What's he got available to him? He's got a set of soft tyres to run, actually. He could stop, run on the softs as others run on harder tyres. Ben in 5th place is ahead of Bondemus. They will be stopping surely this lap. Yafax is in. In come the race leaders then. Ajax, the race leader. They look like wet tyres that are going on. They're not. As Morcherry, he didn't stop, and he takes the lead. So the Team Lotus driver does not have any problem here. He doesn't stop. He's now taken the lead off Ajax and Bunnies. What a difference that makes. Gasman in 4th place as Yafax in the pits. Ben comes in as well. They're getting rid of their intermediate tyres. Ragemus is in. Now Ragemus is changing his tyres from the medium. I wonder if Ragemus is using all 3 sets. He doesn't have to though, because it has rained here, as all the other drivers come into the pits as well for their tyres. They're trying to get the fresh sets of tyres onto their cars. But at the front of the field, after a master stroke, he was in 9th place before the rain came. He is now leading the field. However, he's got the 2 drivers that have been fighting for this victory coming behind him. We're on board now with Morcherry. You can see in the background Bunnies and Ajax. On the left mirror, you can see them more clearly as they come along. Ajax will give him another bump. There we go. So they're helping each other along. This is what it looks like on board with Bunnies. So will they make a move into Mulsanne corner? We'll look at Morcherry leading the race. Oh my word, they're going to go 3 wide. They go 3 wide. Racing into the Mulsanne corner. Ajax up the inside. Bunnies has to yield. He does so. Morcherry on the overtake, trying to keep with these two. He knows this is key to his race. Lap number 9. The medium tyres look very, very comfortable on lap number 9. Could Morcherry go the full race without stopping then? Due to the rain, he doesn't have to. Gasman in 4th place. Yafax on his outlap on mediums. Bondemus is in 6th. With Ben on the inside of him. Ben trying to get the move done. He does get it done now. He's on softs. Bondemus is on mediums. Ragimus on soft tyres now as well. So he's gone onto softs. Maybe he made a mistake and went onto the mediums instead of softs. Rob on drums in 9th. Jam on the hard tyres. That's all he had left in his allocation to run. Soft tyres for the Punisher. Softs also for Mr. Smith. Thank you everyone that's watching us live. But if you're not watching us live, like, share and subscribe. Anyway, leave a comment in the chat. It really does help us tell us who you're supporting, who you're looking forward to seeing as these 3 at the front of the field go through the Porsche curves. This is fantastic. Ajax leading from Bunnies, from Morcherry. Morcherry's put himself into this lead battle. He started in 10th. He was in 9th before the rain came. He didn't stop. And as a result, he's gained so much time on those he was racing. Ajax, though, leading with Bunnies in 2nd place on lap number 10 of 14. They've got 5 laps, including the one they're on, to decide who's winning this race here at the Circuit de la Sarthe in France. Yafax is in the pits as well. The Alfa Romeo boys then seem to be doing 3 tyres, sets of dry tyres in the race. They'll learn from this one that you don't have to if it rains. You do not have to if it rains. Put those tyres on. So Ben in 6th place. Again, he's got Bondemus. The Bondemus with a nice French flag, it looks like, on his helmet. The Primes do like having helmets that match up. With purple and green. Is that Henri Pescarola tribute, I wonder, from Ragimus Prime? Possibly. Rob on drums in 8th place. He did tell me the correct pronunciation of the little alien, Baby Yoda, on the Halo. I did say to Rob on drums I would get it right, and it is pronunciation. Where is it? Where is he? I can't find him. Grogu. Grogu is the name of the alien. Grogu. There you go. After all that, I hope it was worth it. Grogu. The front of the field. You can tell I'm not an Aliens fan. I have watched Alien, but not Aliens. Star Wars fan. All that much. I don't really understand who people. I know who people are, but there we go. Anyway, back to racing here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. We've got Ajax leading from Bunnies. They've dropped Morcherry a bit. So Morcherry dropping down slightly. His medium tyres are looking a little bit more worn than those of Gasman. He used a fresh set. Now he's moved on to the fresh set of mediums. Bondemus and Ben, though, what a fight these two are having. This is the battle. between the Team Lotus driver and the Benetton. Ben in the Benetton. I like that. I just like the way it flows. Gerhard Berger, helmet 2. Trying to chase down that 1981 Team Lotus car. I think the Benetton's from 84, I think, or 85. Just off the top of my head. Should have researched it. Yafax then with himself in 9th place now. He's just overtaken Jam. It's Jam on the hard, trying to get onto the back of the Alfa Romeo. He's on the hards, as I say before, so hards definitely a disadvantage, as always, in terms of lap time. But then again, at the front of the field, you've got Bunnies doing a 3:11, but he has got the slipstream of his brother, who's on the soft tyres, so he's able just to keep the McLaren tucked up on the Mulsanne and keep that speed up. 185, 86 miles an hour being touched at points. 191 in fact as well. They're pulling away from Morchari. 317 compared to a 314 of Gasman. So Gasman is flying along now. What is the gap between them? The gap is about 7 seconds. So Gasman in a couple of laps could be behind him. Bottas and Ben, of course, they're nose to tail, bouncing along down the Mulsanne. What's the gap between them and Gasman? It's a little bit of a gap actually, about 17 seconds between them and Gasman as they go across where the first chicane normally is. It's a great camera angle, that one. Ragemus down in 7th place, just on his own now. And he's out of overtake, I think, as well, or nearly out of overtake. Rob on drums have got Yafax in his slipstream. Yafax looking quick. Will he get past the Benetton driver? Rob on drums having a nice season, in fact. And Yafax just passes him like he's not there. Rob on drums, though, tucks up. There is Grogu. There we go. Gets past. So deciding not to work together. Decide, actually, it's lap 11 of 14. We're going to have a little fight going into the Mulsanne. Yafax has positioned himself for the inside, though, of the Mulsanne corner. They're still going. It's a minute and 10 seconds on full throttle. The Mulsanne straight. Rob on drums holding position. Nicely done by Rob. Yafax back into the slipstream. So are they working together? It would appear so. At the front of the field, though, Bunny's leading against Ajax. Runs a little bit wide in karting. Ajax chasing him hard. The defending champion trying to get his first victory, and it would be a victory for Renault in France too. If he can pull it off. It's not happening. Bondemus, I think, has just got past Ben. I think he has into the Porsche curves. Let's have a look at this move then. So Ben, there he goes. Bondemus up the inside. Off we go. Purple, purple, purple. Somebody called Mark Bailey is supporting Bailey. It's not going too well for Bailey today. Oh, he's having a little fight with Christo. Christo, in fact, getting past him. 2 pit stops early on has really cost these drivers in this race. We have had rain. They stayed out on their tyres, and their tyres are looking a little bit worn for it now. Aloe not happy in 15th place. Slenderfellow as well. He pitted early, and it's cost him time. The other drivers held off. The rain came, and they did a stop, most of them, apart from this driver. He's been on those medium tyres since the beginning of the race, and he's still going on them strong. Good morning, Bailey. This mysterious Mark Bailey supporting Bailey. I wonder who he is. More Cherry, though. It's all coming up nicely for him. Lap number 12. What is the gap between him and Gasman? It's 5 seconds, so Gasman is lapping 3 seconds a lap quicker. Gasman's going to possibly overtake him on the last lap. That would be absolutely awful for Morcherry after such a brilliant tactical resolve. He held his nerve. He didn't stop. The rain band, it wasn't much rain, but it was enough for a couple of laps to use the intermediates, and a couple of laps around this circuit, the risk of spinning is high, and the majority of drivers, as I say, in the top 10, everybody but one pitted. That one driver that didn't pit is in third place now, gaining 6 positions overall. He was leading the race after the stops as well. Bondemus then in 6th place, on board with him to go towards the Mulsanne corner. Then in the Benetton, up the inside. Nicely done by Bondemus once more, but Ben holding the outside line and keeps the position. Go back to the front of the pack. Ajax leading once more. These two have been nose to tail all race. It has resulted in them getting quite a bit of an advantage. 15 seconds is the gap to Morcherry. As I say, Morcherry hasn't stopped at all, and I don't think he will do this whole race now. Gasman in 4th. Ben in 5th. Whoa, slide! Through Arnage. Ragemus in 7th place, with his Alfa Romeo teammate Yafax in 8th. Rob on drums in 9th. Jam is in 10th on the hards. The Punisher catching up about 2 seconds a lap. So the Punisher catching Jam up. Mr. Smith in his soft-tired Renault. He's looking for his best result. In SNL, as we see, Bailey has just got past Christo as they go into the Mulsanne corner. So Bailey getting past. Let's have a look at Bailey getting past. It is quite a straightforward move, really. Got the slipstream done and moves up into 13th. So Christo now 14th place. Lowy there in 15th. He did 24.1 down the last lap. On his own is Slender Fellow. It's just the bad luck with the pit stops. I think a spin as well in the rain, so I saw a 4.24 in his lap time chart. At the front of the field then, Ajax leading. Let's see what the gap is. It's getting darker again. As Ben and Bondemus having a brilliant fight once more. They go into the Dunlop chicane. Ben round the outside into turn 1 and up the inside of the second part. Nicely done by Ben. Very nice. Let's go on board and see that. 2 laps to go here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We've had some brilliant action in this race. It's not decided yet at the front either. It really isn't. Bondemus and Ben fighting for 5th. Don't know who's going to get this one. Ragemus in 7th with Yasafax 8th and Rob on drums 9th. Jam another 17.2 and a 14.6, so 2.5 seconds is the Punisher, quicker than Jam. The gap is about 3 seconds. Mr. Smith coming into the pits then. He's had enough of those soft tyres. He's going to get a fresh set of softs on. He's not happy with them. Christo, he's just going to try and get these softs to the end of the race. His battle with Bailey is a battle of who can keep the softs fresh. The front of the field though. Oh, Christo into the pits. We've seen Bunnies has just overtaken Ajax into Mulsanne corner. The penultimate time then they've come through here is Bunnies making the move now. Up the inside, we've seen Ajax hold a position through there every time previously, but now Bunnies takes the lead ahead of Ajax. Morcherry still ahead of Gazman. 2 seconds, though, was the gap on the last lap. So Gazman setting some great times. Ben and Bondemus, of course they're side by side. Of course they are. They are fighting hard now. They've realised, okay, yeah, we can't catch 4th place, and we're quite happy ahead of 7th. So this is just our battle for 5th. They come into the Mulsanne. Bondemus on that inside line holds the position. Ben has to yield. He's now in 6th. As we look at the front of the pack, they've come out of Arnage and they're heading towards the Porsche curve. Ajax leads against Bunnies now, so Ajax has got past. Must have got past either into Indianapolis or Arnage. How much overtake do they have? About a quarter each. Both have the green on top of them. So through the Porsche curves. Next time round, they'll be racing to the line for the finish. It is still anybody's race. The Renault versus the McLaren. The champion versus the championship leader. Who do you think's going to win as they slide out of the Ford chicane? Here we go, final lap. Board flashes up for them. Can they take it all the way to the end? We're looking on board as Bunnies goes up. No, he doesn't go up the inside of the Dunlop chicane. Through the S's. There won't be a move through here. What's the gap between Morcherry and Gazman? It's less than a second as they go into Dunlop. Oh, and Morcherry just outbreaks himself, and Gazman gets past. Oh, Morcherry will be kicking himself. Just braked a little bit too late. Gazman gifted 3rd place. He'll be annoyed by that. Morcherry now, little mistake. Oh, and Ben! What is going on? Here we go. We've seen this one before. He gets past Bondemus. Bondemus on the inside. Ben ahead of him. They go into Dunlop. A little touch, but nothing. Oh, and then... Oh, Ben holds the line. Holds the car. Points it forwards. They are fighting hard. Back at the front of the field then. Oh, that's Mr. Smith. Wrong Renault. There is the Renault leading the race then. As Bunnies and him race along down the Mulsanne straight. Bunnies still bump drafting. As they get to the point where the second chicane would normally be, they cross it over. You can see the little cone flappy things on the side. Bunnies tucked up. Now we've seen him last lap. He had a move into here. Ajax defending the inside line, but Bunny's going round the outside. This is what Ajax done before, though. He's kept that inside line. He does it once more. He keeps Bunnies on that outside. That is key. Is it the key to the race? Ajax has the red light. Bunnies now has a red light. And he goes on the overtake. He is attacking hard as they're going down the back straight towards Indianapolis. Bunnies is attacking. He's on the overtake. He's fully on the overtake. He's done the overtake now. He's trying to pull away. Ajax goes into Indianapolis. Brakes late, but runs wide. Oh no! Runs wide. Bunnies has a little bit of gap into Arnage. The pressure isn't on. Ajax now has to pull away. Let's have a look at Ben and Bondemus. Ben is up the inside of Bondemus. Back at the front of the field though. Bunnies leads from Ajax into the Porsche curve for the last time. He's got a little bit of a gap, but it's nothing. Especially as he has no overtake left, and his brother has the smallest hint of an overtake. A small glimmer. He's in the slipstream, going into karting for the last time. This is flat out. He will have one move if he can get close enough into the Ford chicane. Bunnies feels the pressure. He's defending that inside line. He'll be compromised into the Ford chicane. Will he do it? He holds it nice and tidy. Bunnies is going to take the victory here at Le Mans, but it was not easy. Ajax in second place. Oh my word. Those two absolutely throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Gasman in the Ferrari. Well, medium hards. He'll be happy with this. A great result for the Scuderia here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. He goes across the line to claim third. Morcherry, no stops for the Team Lotus driver. Mediums all the way through. He kept his nerve and is rewarded with fourth place. Ben has got the last little bit of defending to do. He's got Bondemus all over the back of him. They cross the line. A fantastic fight between these two. Ben and Bondemus, 5th and 6th for them. Ragemus is going to finish 7th on his return to the Formula X Championship. It's 7th and 8th place for the Alfa Romeos. So Yafax there in 8th. 9th place is going to be Rob on drums. Oh, hello, Rob. Having a bit of a slide out of the Ford chicane. He's got a big enough gap between himself and the Punisher. The Punisher getting past Jam then on the final lap. As Mr. Smith, he's got Bailey. Bailey is just behind him. Mr. Smith has the fresher tyres as they go towards the Porsche curbs. Will Mr. Smith do what his teammate couldn't and hold the position? This is for 12th. It's still important in terms of the team championship. Again, these drivers unlucky really with the way the weather fell. They pitted early and got stung by it. The strategy was to pit early, and it just didn't quite work. Mr. Smith then 12th place. Bailey 13th. Aloe is going to finish in 14th place then in his Red Bull. So 13th and 14th for Red Bull, not the best of rounds, but they did have tricky tyres, soft, hard, were their tyre options, and as I say, they did pit early. So we're punished by the rain. So Aloe crosses the line. Mr. Christo, on the hard tyres. He had to pit for the hards in the end to keep them fresh. And then in 16th place is going to be Slender Fella. And there we go. He crosses the line with his best lap of 15.6. So not slow at all from Slender Fella. Again, just unlucky with the way that everything happened. So Bunnies was victorious here this evening. Another win. 3 in a row for the McLaren driver. Provisionally 90 points at the top of the standings. And a 31 gap to the driver in second place as it provisionally stands. Ajax in second place in the race. Trying to get his championship campaign underway. It's another podium for him in this season. Second and third he's had in the first 3 rounds. Gasman back on the podium as well. Second and third for him. He and Ajax, in fact, separated just on countback. 59 points on countback. Thank you very much, Bailey. Bailey saying great commentary again, Jam. Thank you very much. Morcherry in 4th place. A heroic drive to 4th. No stop strategy for him as the rain came. 5th place for Ben in his return. That adds to 5th place at round number 1. So nice consistency for Ben. 6th place is Bondemus. A fantastic showing for the Team Lotus driver. In fact, Team Lotus having a great evening. 4th and 6th for them in this race. 7th place was Ragemus Prime on his return. So just following the Prime the Prime Brotherhood. There we go. But not brothers. There you go. I don't know. In 7th place. 8th place is Yafax in the Alfa Romeo. So 7th and 8th for Alfa Romeo. Their best team result this season. 9th place for Grogu in the Halo for Rob on drums. Good result for him once more. The Punisher making the top 10 as well in his Ferrari. Pipping Jam in the end, who finishes 11th. 12th is Mr. Smith. A great showing for him One of his best showings in SNL. 13th place, Bailey. Unfortunate with the timing of the rain and everything else. Aloe in 14th place, his teammate. In 15th was Christo, again, unfortunate with the rain and everything else going on. And Slender Fella is 16th in the Jordan. So, can anybody stop the Papaya Bullet? Bunnies leading the championship. 3 wins in a row. Next week we're at Dragon Trail Seaside. The chicane of death. Will it claim any victims? Or will it be a 4th victory in a row for the Canadian? Join us next time, next week. Like, share and subscribe. The Sunday Night League, Formula X, Season 10. Goodbye.